Chapter 2, Making of the Constitution. Topic 1, Demand for a Constituent Assembly. It was in 1934 that the idea of Constituent Assembly for India was put forward for the first time by M. N. Roy, a pioneer of communist movement in India. In 1935, the Indian National Congress (INC) for the first time officially demanded a Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution of India. In 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru, on behalf of the INC, declared that the Constitution of Free India must be framed without outside interference by a Constituent Assembly elected on the basis of adult franchise. The demand was finally accepted in principle by the British government in what is known as the August Offer of 1940. In 1942, Sir Stafford Cripps, a member of the cabinet, came to India with a draft proposal of the British government on framing of an independent constitution to be adopted after the World War II. The Cripps proposal were rejected by the Muslim League, which wanted India to be divided into two autonomous states with two separate constituent assemblies. Finally, a cabinet mission was sent to India. While it rejected the idea of two constituent assemblies, it put forth a scheme for the constituent assembly which more or less satisfied the Muslim League. Composition of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by the Cabinet Mission Plan. और ये इलेक्शन हुए थे जुलाई अगस्त में इस कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली के और बनी थी 1946 में नवंबर 1946. Features of the schemes were the total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. Of these, 296 seats were to be allotted to British India and 93 seats to the princely states. Out of 296 seats allotted to British India, 292 members were to be drawn from the 11 governor provinces and 4 from the chief commissioners provinces and 1 from each. और ये 4 चीफ कमिश्नर प्रोविंसेस कौन-कौन से थे? दिल्ली, अजमेर, मेरवाड़ा और कुर्ग और बलूचिस्तान. Each provinces and princely state or group of state in case of small states were to be allotted seat in proportion to their respective population. Roughly one seat was to be allotted for every 1 million population. Seat allocated to each British provinces were to be divided among the three principal communities, Muslim, Sikh and General, all except Muslims and Sikh, in proportion to their population. The representative of each community were to be elected by member of that community in the provincial legislative assembly, and voting was to be by the method of proportional representation by mean of single transferable vote. The representative of the princely states were to be nominated by the heads of the princely states. It is thus clear that the Constituent Assembly was to be partly elected and partly nominated body. Moreover, the members were to be indirectly elected by the members of the provincial assemblies, who themselves were elected on limited franchise. The election of the Constituent Assembly for 296 seat allotted to the British India provinces were held in July-August 1946. The Indian National Congress won 208 seats, the Muslim League 73 seats, and the small group and independent got the remaining 15 seats. However, the 93 seats allotted to the princely states were not filled as they decided to stay away from the Constituent Assembly. Although the Constituent Assembly was not directly elected by people of India on the basis of adult franchise, still the Assembly comprised representatives of all sections of Indian society like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Parsis, Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians, SC, ST, including women of all these sections. The assembly included all important personalities of India at the time, with the exception of Mahatma Gandhi. महात्मा गांधी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली के पार्ट नहीं थे. और आपको एक चीज़ और बतानी थी कि जो कैबिनेट मिशन था वो 24 मार्च 1946 को आया था, 24 मार्च 1946 को. Working of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly held its first meeting on December 9, 1946. The Muslim League boycotted the meeting and insisted on a separate state of Pakistan. The meeting was thus attended by only 211 members. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the oldest member, was elected as the temporary president of the assembly following the French practice. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president of the assembly. Similarly, both H.C. Mukherjee and V.T. Krishnamachari were elected as the vice president of the assembly. In other words, the assembly had two vice presidents. Objective resolution. 13 December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the historic objective resolution in the assembly. It laid down the fundamentals and the philosophy of the constitutional structure. It reads, the Constituent Assembly declared its firm and solemn resolve to proclaim India as an independent sovereign republic, to draw up for her future governance a constitution, wherein the territories that now comprise British India, the territories that now form the Indian state, and such other parts of India as are outside India, and a state as well as other territories as are willing to be constituted into the independent sovereign India, shall be a union of them all, and wherein the said territories, whether with their present boundaries or with such other as may be determined by the Constituent Assembly and thereafter, according to the law of the Constitution, shall possess and retain the status of autonomous unit together with residuary powers and exercise all powers and function of government and administration, save and expect such powers and functions as are vested in or assigned to the Union, or as are inherent or implied in the Union or resulting therefrom, and wherein all power and the authority of the sovereign independent of India its constituent parts and organs of the government are deprived from the people, and wherein shall be guaranteed and secure to all people of India justice, social, economic, political, equality of status of opportunity, and before the law, freedom of thoughts, expression, belief, faith, worship, vocation, association, and action, subject to law and public morality, and adequate safeguards shall be provided for minorities, backward and tribal areas, and depressed and other backward classes, and whereby shall be maintained the integrity of the territory of republic and its sovereign right on land and sea and air according to justice and the law of civilized nation. And this ancient land attained its rightful and honored place in the world and makes its full and willing contribution to the promotion of world peace and the welfare of mankind. This resolution was unanimously adopted by the Assembly on 22 January 1947. It influenced the eventual shaping of the Constitution through all its subsequent stages. Its modified version formed the preamble of the present Constitution. Changes by the Independence Act. The representatives of the princely states who had strayed away from the Constituent Assembly gradually joined it. On 28 April 1947, representatives of the six states were part of the Assembly after the acceptance of the Mountbatten Plan of 3 June 1947 for the partition of the country. The representative of most of the other princely states took their seats in the assembly. The members of the Muslim League from the Indian domination also entered the assembly. The Indian Independence Act of 1947 made the following three changes in the position of the assembly. The assembly was made a fully sovereign body which could frame any constitution it pleased. The act empowered the assembly to abrogate or alter any law made by the British Parliament in relation to India. The assembly also became a legislative body. In other words, two separate functions were assigned to the assembly, that is, making the constitution for free India and enacting of ordinary laws of the country. These two tasks were to be performed on separate days. Thus, the Assembly became the first Parliament of Free India, Dominion Legislature. Whenever the Assembly met as the constituent body, it was chaired by the Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and when it met as the legislative body, it was chaired by G.V. Malvankar. These two functions continued till 26 November 1949, when the task of making the Constitution was over. Final session of the Constituent Assembly was on 24 January 1950. Third point, the Muslim League members hailing from the areas including in the Pakistan withdraw from the Constituent Assembly for India. Consequently, the total strength of the assembly came down to 292 as against 389, originally fixed in 1946 under the Cabinet Mission Plan. The strength of the Indian provinces, formerly British provinces, was reduced from 296 to 229, and those of princely state from 93 to 70. The state-wise membership of the assembly as on 31 December 1947 is shown in table 2.4 of this chapter. We will check this table later on. Other, other functions performed by the Constituent Assembly. First, ratified the India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. Adopted national flag on 22 July 1947. Adopted national anthem on 24 January 1950. Adopted national song on 24 January 1950. Elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of India on 24 January 1950. तो 24 जनवरी 1950 को राजेंद्र प्रसाद को इलेक्ट किया एज ए प्रेसिडेंट, और नेशनल सॉन्ग और नेशनल एंथम ये सारी चीज़ें 24 जनवरी 1950 को हुई. In all, the Constituent Assembly has 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. The constitution maker had gone through the constitution of about 60 countries, and the draft constitution was considered for 114 days. The total expenditure incurred on making the constitution amounted to 64 lakh rupees. On 24 January 1950, the Constituent Assembly held its final session. It, however, did not end and continued as the Provincial Parliament of India from 26 January 1950 till the formation of new parliament after the first general election in 1951-52. Now we will discuss about the committees of the Constituent Assembly. Okay? The Constituent Assembly appointed number of committees to deal with the different tasks of constitution making. Out of these, 8 were major committees and other were minor committees. तो major committees कौन-कौन सी है और उनके चेयरमैन कौन-कौन है, ये अभी अपन डिस्कस करेंगे. तो major committee 8 थी. यूनियन पावर कमेटी जिसके जवाहरलाल नेहरू थे, यूनियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कमेटी जिसके जवाहरलाल नेहरू थे, प्रोविंशियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कमेटी जिसके सरदार पटेल थे, ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर, एडवाइजरी कमेटी ऑन फंडामेंटल राइट्स, माइनॉरिटीज एंड ट्राइबल एंड एक्सक्लूडेड एरिया इसके सरदार पटेल थे. इस कमेटी के 5 सब कमेटी थी. फंडामेंटल राइट सब कमेटी जिसके जे बी कृपलानी थे, माइनॉरिटी सब कमेटी जिसके एच सी मुखर्जी थे, नॉर्थ ईस्ट फ्रंटल ट्राइबल एरिया एंड आसाम एक्सक्लूडेड एंड पार्शली एक्सक्लूडेड एरिया सब कमेटी इसके गोपीनाथ बारडोली थे. एक्सक्लूडेड एंड पार्शली एक्सक्लूडेड एरिया अदर देन दोज इन आसाम सब कमेटी ए वी ठक्कर थे. नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियल ट्राइबल एरियाज सब कमेटी इसको हटा दिया गया था, इसको हम कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे. रूल्स ऑफ प्रोसीजर कमेटी डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद. स्टेट कमेटी कमेटी फॉर नेगोशिएशन विद स्टेट्स इसके जवाहरलाल नेहरू थे. स्टीयरिंग कमेटी के डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद थे. माइनर कमेटीज थी 13 थी. ठीक है, तो फाइनेंस एंड स्टाफ कमेटी इसके डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद थे. क्रेडेंशियल कमेटी के अल्लादी कृष्ण स्वामी अय्यर थे. हाउस कमेटी के बी पत्ताभी सीतारामैया थे. ऑर्डर ऑफ बिजनेस कमेटी डॉक्टर के एम मुंशी थे. एडॉक Committee on National Flag, Dr. Rajendra Prasad थे. Committee on Function of the Constituent Assembly, G.V. Malvankar थे. Ad hoc Committee on Supreme Court, S. Vardhavachari थे, not an assembly member. Committee on Chief Commissioner Provinces, B. Patabi Sitaramaiya थे. Expert Committee on Financial Provision of the Union Constitution, Nalini Ranjan Sarkar, ये भी assembly की member नहीं थी. Linguistic Provinces Commission, S. Kedar, he is also not assembly member. Special Committee on Examine the Draft Constitution, Jawaharlal Nehru. Press Gallery Committee, Usha Nath Sen. Ad hoc Committee on Citizenship, S. Vardachari, not an assembly member. अब ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी के बारे में हम पढ़ेंगे. Among all the committees of the Constituent Assembly, the most important committee was the drafting committee set up on August 29, 1947. It was this committee that was entrusted with the task of preparing a draft of the new constitution. It consists of 7 members. They were Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, जो कि चेयरमैन थे, N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Ladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, Dr. K.M. Munshi, Sayyid Muhammad Sadullah, and Madhav Rao. He replaced B.L. Mittal, who resigned due to ill health. T.T. Krishnamachari, he replaced D.P. Khaitan, who died in 1948. The drafting committee, after taking into consideration the proposal of the various committees, prepared the first draft of the Constitution of India, which was published in February 1948. The people of India were given 8 months to discuss the draft and propose amendment. In the light of the public comments, criticism, and suggestions, the drafting committee prepared a second draft, which was published in October 1948. The drafting committee took less than 6 months to prepare its draft. In all, it sat only for 141 days. Enactment of the Constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar introduced the final draft of the Constitution in the Assembly on 4 November 1948, first reading. The Assembly had a general discussion on it for 5 days till 9 November 1948. The second reading, clause by clause consideration, started on 15 November 1948 and ended on 17 October 1949. मतलब approximately 1 साल लग गया. During this stage, as many as 7,653 amendments were proposed and 2,473 were actually discussed in the Assembly. The third reading of the draft started on 14 November 1949. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar moved attention the Constitution as settled by the Assembly be passed. The motion on draft commission was declared as passed on 26 November 1949 and received the signature of the members and the President. Out of the total 299 members of the Assembly, only 284 were actually present on that day and signed the Constitution. This is also the date mentioned in the preamble as the date on which the people of India in the Constituent Assembly adopted, enacted, and gave to themselves this Constitution. The Constitution has, as adopted on 26 November 1949, contained a preamble, 395 articles, and 8 schedules. The preamble was enacted after the entire constitution was already enacted. जब पूरा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो था इनैक्ट हो चुका था, लागू हो चुका था, उसके बाद में प्रियम्बल अपना लागू हुआ था. डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर, द देन लॉ मिनिस्टर, piloted the draft constitution in the assembly. He took a very prominent part in the deliberation of the assembly. He was known for his logical, forceful, and persuasive arguments on the floor of the assembly. He is recognized as the father of the Constitution of India. This brilliant writer, constitutional expert, undisputed leader of the scheduled caste, and the chief architect of the Constitution of India is also known as Modern Manu. Enforcement of the Constitution. Some provisions of the Constitution pertaining to citizenship, election, provincial parliament, temporary and transitional provisions, and short titles contained in Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, मतलब 5 से 9 तक. 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392, and 393 came into force on 26 November 1949 itself. The remaining provisions, the major part of the Constitution, came into force on 26 January 1950. This day is referred to in the Constitution as the date of its commencement and celebrated as the Republic Day. तो 26 जनवरी को हम Republic Day मनाते हैं, यही reason है. 26 January was specifically chosen as the date of commencement of the Constitution because of its historical importance. It was on this day in 1930 that Purna Swaraj Day was celebrated following the resolution of the Lahore session of December 1929 of the Indian National Congress, in which Nehru was the leader. Chairman. With the commencement of the Constitution, the Indian Independence Act of 1947 and the Government of India Act 1935, with all enactment amending or supplementing the later act, were repealed. The abolition of Privy Council Jurisdiction Act 1949 was, however, continued. Experts Committee of the Congress. While election to the Constituent Assembly were still in progress on 8 July 1946, the Congress Party, Indian National Congress, appointed an expert committee for the purpose of preparing material for the Constituent Assembly. This committee consisted of the following members: Jawaharlal Nehru, Chairman, M. Asif Ali, K. M. Munshi, N. Gopal Swamy Iyengar, K. T. Shah, Dr. D. R. Gadgil, Humayun Kabir, K. Santhanan. Later, on the chairman's proposal, it was resolved that Krishna Kriplani be co-opted as a member and convener of the committee. The committee had 2 sittings, the first sitting at New Delhi from 20 July to 22 July 1946 and the second at Bombay from 15 August to 17 August 1946. Apart from a number of notes prepared by its members, the committee discussed the procedures to be adopted by the Constituent Assembly, the question of the appointment of various committees, and the draft of a resolution on the objectives of the Constitution to be moved during the first session of the Constituent Assembly. On the role played by this committee in the making of the Constitution, Granville Austin, a British constitutional expert, observed that it was the Congress Expert Committee that set India on the road to her present constitution. The committee members, working within the framework of the Cabinet Mission Scheme, made general suggestions about autonomous areas, the power of provincial governments and the centre, and about such issues as the princely state and the amending power. They also drafted a resolution closely resembling to the objective resolutions. Criticism of the Constituent Assembly. The critics have criticized the Constituent Assembly on various grounds. These are as follow. मोटा मोटा मैं अगर इनकी टॉपिक्स पढ़ूँ तो जैसे नॉट ए रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बॉडी, नॉट ए सॉवरेन बॉडी, टाइम कंज्यूमिंग थी काफ़ी ज़्यादा, डोमिनेटेड बाय कांग्रेस थी, लोअर लॉयर पॉलिटिशियन डोमिनेशन ज़्यादा था, डोमिनेटेड बाय हिंदूज। ये सारे के सारे इनके पॉइंट्स थे। पहले डिस्कस करता है नॉट ए रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बॉडी। द critics have argued that the Constituent Assembly was not representative body as its members were not directly elected by the people of India on the basis of universal adult franchise. तो हमने सेलेक्ट ही नहीं किया उन लोगों को जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली के मेंबर्स हैं, तो ये रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बॉडी है ही नहीं। इन्होंने हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेशन किया ही नहीं। दूसरा, नॉट ए सॉवरेन बॉडी। द क्रिटिक्स maintained that the Constituent Assembly was not a sovereign body as it was created by the proposal of the British government. Further, they said that the Assembly held its session with the permission of the British government. Third, time consuming. According to critics, the Constituent Assembly took unduly long time to make the Constitution. They stated that the framers of the American Constitution took only 4 months to complete their work. In this context, Nazruddin Ahmad, a member of the Constituent Assembly, coined a name of the drafting committee to show his contempt for it. He called it a drifting committee. आपको याद रखना है कि ड्रिफ्टिंग कमेटी ये किसने बोला था? नजरुद्दीन अहमद ने, क्योंकि काफ़ी टाइम लगा दिया था इन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बनाने में। Dominated by Congress, the critics charged that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by the Congress Party. Granville Austin, an American constitutional expert, remarked that the Constitution Assembly was one-party body in essentially one-party country. The Assembly was the Congress and the Congress was the India. Fifth point, lower lawyer politician domination. It also maintained by the critics that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by lawyer and politician. They pointed out that other sections of the society were not sufficiently represented. This to them is the main reason for the bulkiness and complicated language of the Constitution. Sixth point, dominated by Hindus. According to some critics, the Constituent Assembly was a Hindu-dominated body. Lord Viscount Simon called it a body of Hindus. Similarly, Winston Churchill commented that the Constituent Assembly represented only one major community in India. तो इन लोगों ने कुछ बोला इसकी, तो विंस्टन चर्चिल ने बोला और एक लॉर्ड विस्काउंट ने बोला। अब कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स के बारे में बात करते हैं। एलिफेंट वॉज अडॉप्टेड एज द सिंबल या बोल दे सील ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली। सर BN Rao was appointed as the constitutional advisor या legal advisor to the Constitutional Assembly. HVR Iyengar was the secretary to the Constituent Assembly. SN Mukherjee was the chief draftsman of the Constitution in the Constituent Assembly. Prem Bihari Narayan Rajada was the calligrapher of the Indian Constitution. The original Constitution was handwritten by him in a flowing italic style. The original version was beautified and decorated by artists from Shanti Niketan, including Nandlal Bose and Bhairav Ram Manohar Sinha. Ram Manohar Sinha illuminated, beautified, and ornamented the original preamble calligraphed by Prem Bihari Narayan Rajada. The calligraphy of the Hindi version of the original Constitution was done by Vasant Krishna Vaidya and elegantly decorated and illuminated by Nandlal Bose. Hindi text of the Constitution. Originally, the Constitution of India did not make any provision with respect to an authoritative text of the Constitution in the Hindi language. Later, a provision in this regard was made by the 58th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1987. 58th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1987. याद रखना. This amendment inserted a new article 394A in the last part of the Constitution, that is part 22. This article contained the following provisions. The President shall cause to be published under his authority. First point, the translation of the Constitution in Hindi language, the modification which are necessary to bring it in conformity with the language, style, and terminology adopted in the authoritative text of the Central Act in Hindi can be made in it. All the amendments of the Constitution made before such publication should be incorporated in it. The translation in Hindi of every amendment of the Constitution made in English. The translation of the Constitution and its every amendment published shall be construed to have the same meaning as the original text in English. If any difficulty arise in this matter, the President shall cause the Hindi text to be revised suitably. मतलब इंग्लिश वाला टेक्स्ट है वो सुपीरियर होगा in term of its meaning. The translation of the Constitution and its every amendment published shall be deemed to be, for all purposes, its authoritative text in Hindi.